The Liberals are replacing government workers with AI despite claiming that they care about the environment, and we have a traitor on our hands. Welcome back to the Freedom Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie A.B. This is where we debrief and discuss pop culture and politics from an independent perspective. And if that interests you, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this with your friends because it's hard to get my name out in Commie Canada. So let's get into it. So fun fact, you wear your wedding ring on your left hand, okay, because it's connected to your heart. This is just mirrored. Don't worry, I looked it up. Okay, you're supposed to wear your poppy over your heart, and I have. It's just mirrored. Okay, let's get into it. So guys, when you're a creator like this, as you've seen with Mario, okay, you get a lot of DMs. And I have had people tell me, a couple of people now, tell me that they have seen that Liberals and NDP talk about infiltrating the conservative space so that things like if they wanted certain things to pass, they could cross and get that passed. Now, I didn't really believe it, or I did, I just didn't have enough evidence to, be a breaking news story or anything. So all of that is alleged, but it seems very suspicious when those sorts of things start to happen a mere 7 months after being elected as a conservative, Mr. Chris. Okay, you're telling me that you hate the Conservatives so much because you possibly didn't get a speaker position that you're willing to cross over to the Liberals and, not as an independent, because by the way, after Anthony Rota was caught bringing the Yahtzee or thrown under the bus for bringing the Yahtzee to the House of Commons, that man was an independent and voted with the Liberals the entire time. So not only could this guy have been an independent and then voted with the Liberals, he chose directly to go over to the Liberals. And that to me is traitorous to your constituency. They voted you in as a freaking conservative. I'm going to let you guys know, I didn't get ready on my desk today because there was a massive spider and I have to record, and I'm just living in fear right now. So I'm a little bit on edge anyways, just to let you guys know. And when there's such distrust in our government right now, do you guys think it's a smart thing to be crossing over to the Liberals? I'm sorry, but I don't actually think that it was the budget that sent him over the edge to the Liberals. I do think it was his personal beef that he had with PierrePoilievre and them not letting him be a speaker because then they would have less votes in the House of Commons. Because you're telling me that one man, one narcissist had people following him, an angry mob, not that we had ever seen before in our country, okay, following him around with F Trudeau signs, and not one of them after, sinking our country right into the ground, and learning that he said to Selena on the same day that Jody quit, okay, knowing that he said to Selena, you can't quit because I already had a person of color quit today. None of you decided to walk over to the Conservatives, but all of a sudden, 7 months later, this man decides to cross over to the Liberals. Make that make sense other than deep, deep corruption. Okay, and we've seen the Conservatives be kind of extremely rigid with their messaging, with whoever is speaking on their behalf, and people are like, I can't believe that they do that. This is why they do that. This is why they do that, because I can't imagine right now, if you're a conservative, how it must feel to watch someone be part of your team and learn all of the stuff that you are, planning and your strategies, and then watch them walk over to the Liberals. I would have a hard time trusting people in any party right now if I was in the government, okay? So we wonder why PierrePoilievre's team is so rigid and strict with who represents them. This is why. And maybe they do know some of the rumors that I have heard. Maybe they've heard the rumors as well. And that's what's made them so strict over the last few months. Now, I personally wish that we could all, people could open up a Turning Point Canada and represent PierrePoilievre. That's not the way that this works, because Canada is so propagandized that this government, Chrystia Freeland quit last year because the budget was $40 billion, which, by the way, I messed that up because when I say it out loud, I think to myself, that's not truly possible, is it? Is it possible that Chrystia Freeland said she wouldn't support Justin Trudeau because he was spending $40 billion, okay? When they came back and said that they were spending 70 and she seems to be okay with it, I would just love to know what's going on here. Why is MarkCarney so confident that he doesn't talk to the Green leader, the NDP, barely about what they would want to be included in the budget? Why is MarkCarney so sly on knowing that he's going to get the support for it? How was he so sly that all these people knew that he was going to win the election? I would love to know, because at this point, it seems to me, truly, there are so many people against the Conservatives that, in my opinion, I don't know why people think that this is it's a two-party system. No, it's a four-party system, and 3 out of the 4 of those parties, 5 if you include the provinces in their PC government. A Conservative government, by the way, that's never touched women's rights, gives support to single moms. What else? Created the richest middle class in the world, okay? Didn't touch maternity leave, actually supported its citizens. Healthcare was available. The things that they say that they're afraid of are genuine conspiracies, considering the last time Stephen Harper was in, he didn't touch any of those social issues. And you know what? Canada was better off for it. And the only thing that the Conservatives have ever even said is, hey, please stop making life-altering decisions about children's bodily autonomy behind parents' backs and stop forcing people to get something that they don't want to get to be able to work. I have no idea where all of these conspiracy theories come from when he says, I'm going to use the notwithstanding clause to make sure that PDF files are in jail, and somehow the left has a problem with that. Just keep that in mind. The party who has photos, their leader has photos with Ghislaine Maxwell, is, protecting PDF files. And big shocker there. Okay, let's get into the budget. Because you can't make it up. These people who care about the environment so much are replacing actual human jobs in the Liberal government, the federal government, okay, with AI. I don't know if you guys actually know this, but using AI uses a lot of resources. Now, I understand that everything uses a lot of resources. I'm not a lefty. I'm not saying you have to stop. I don't think mine and yours use of AI is a problem. However, I think replacing whole people, especially in our government, replacing whole people instead of training them better, getting them back in these buildings and making sure that everything is more secure and more safe. Instead of doing these things, what are they doing? Replacing them with AI. Now, who's going to train that AI when the people who work at the CRA now are so inept to do their jobs they can't do it? What happens to Canadians? Do you know how screwed we are? Okay, because even these humans screw me and my husband and I over. Okay, imagine when it's AI and there's absolutely nobody to get a hold of. What are we going to be taking AI to court? Because that's what I want to do. I want to gain enough money that I can get a lawyer and fight this in court and set some sort of precedent to make sure that the CRA stops going after vulnerable families that, by the way, the government forced us to take time off. They closed our schools. They closed our daycares. They forced us to go off. What were we supposed to do? And then they turn around and say, sorry, we actually accidentally overpaid you, and now I know that we took it back from you, but I'm going to say that we didn't, and then charge you interest on top of all of that. So if the humans can do that, imagine what AI is going to do. Just think about that. Sorry, I was trying to make my other point earlier and, my thoughts just got ahead of me, but the Conservatives seem to be the only ones who actually give a crap about Canadians and their well-being. And historically, I was able to, go through so much in my life and overcome it when Stephen Harper was in, okay? And I'm talking disabilities, all of the things that the left loves to say that the people that they care about. When people like me scream from the rooftop that I was a single mom, I was able to make that decision about my body, okay? And then when I chose to have my daughter, I was able to go to school, okay, with funding. I was able to get my baby bonus every month. It is simply, and you know what? The Conservatives need to do a better job at, you know, trying to bring back the nostalgia of what Canada was in their messaging, because we were a united country. Think about the Olympics. Anyways, for people who say that they care about the environment so much and care about government jobs and all of these different things, I wonder how they feel, because I do see them celebrating a Conservative going over to the Liberals, which I'm not so sure that that's the win that you think it is, when I'm not sure how you could trust him at all, okay? I wonder how they feel if they'll ever find out that their jobs are going to be replaced by AI. I watched Elevate Podcast. I don't know if I mentioned that in my first episode, in the first part of this episode, but I watched Elevate Podcast, and shout out to Reg for bringing this up, because I believe I predicted this literally this week. I said the only way that they're going to save money and keep government jobs and services, is if they switch over to an AI model. I bet that's going to happen, and it did. Big surprise there. And so with all of this heaviness, I still don't know if we could potentially get an election or not, okay? I don't know if that's the answer to have an election or not, with MarkCarney seeming to be able to just pull people over to the Liberals, because that's apparently how democracy works. Your constituents voted in a Conservative, and I cannot believe that this would ever be okay to do. I have no idea. And I want to kind of make a different video, because I don't know if I'm going to stay here anymore, but that requires a longer video and more in depth about the budget. But I just kind of wanted to talk about those two key things that stood out to me that people might not know about, because this is a 400-page document. And yeah. So anyways, guys, I want you guys to understand that even though Canada's doom and gloom is the most beautiful place, okay, and we have each other, we are in this together, okay? You matter. God wants you here for a reason. There is a reason why you have made it through some of the past most hard times in Canada, okay? I don't know how you go from being the number 5 country overall to number 33. And I don't know what left. People are like, we are number 4 in the whole world. And what world and what sets the standard if every single town and city that we have has tent encampments? Even if you guys said it, we were 4th in the world, which we're not, okay? Why would that be a standard that you want to live up to? How do these people in government and all around us, just who are so privileged, not see that 10 years ago we had the richest middle class in the world, and now we have tent encampments in every single town and city? There must be, and I'm sorry if you're on the left, but you couldn't pay me to live in that cognitive dissonance. Just because I don't want to call myself a conservative, or just because I'm scared of the media or anybody thinking I'm far right because I'm voting conservative. Absolutely not. I'm going to look at the facts. I'm going to look at how I lost absolutely nothing during Harper, and I'm going to compare it to what I've lost during Trudeau, which is a lot. Okay? And this government let the wrong grandma down. You guys allowed the wrong grandma to die a slow, painful death, because I will be here shouting from the rooftop, okay? I also need to see if C9 is in this budget and if it's going to be passed. Will I even be here anymore? Who knows, guys, okay? So just remember that you guys matter. We're in it together, okay? And I want you guys to take a deep breath with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That is needed more than ever, okay? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.